So I figure I've only got so much time before my 8-year-old can outmuscle me, and even less time before my 11-year-old can outrun me. So why not work on both and delay that process just a little bit longer? Let's get into today's video. Hi guys, welcome to today's video. My name is Matt and this is What Matters to Matt. And on today's video, I want to talk to you a little bit about why I think strength training is so important to the runner and just give you a few reasons why I think you should be including strength training in your running. Now, full disclosure, if you have been following my channel, I have been doing the Nick Bare Hybrid Athlete 3.0 program, which does involve quite a bit of time spent in the gym on top of all the running that you're doing. But also, ultimately, if I was to rank on what's important to me, running is certainly very, very important. And my main sort of fitness goal, my main target probably does still involve running. I am planning on running a few marathons and half marathons and 5Ks and 10Ks and maybe even an ultra next year. But ultimately, my main goal is to be the best version of myself, to be as fit as I can. So it's not just about speed for me. It is also about carrying some of that strength and being strong and being healthy, because I want to be there for my family and be the best version of myself, whatever that version might be. So today we are going to focus mostly on how I think strength training benefits you as a runner. Let's dive into it. So reason number one is improved endurance and reduced fatigue. Now, earlier on this year, I ran my first marathon. I've talked about that in so many of my videos. I'll put a link to how that race actually went up here somewhere. But I feel like one of the things that contributed to me not really hitting the wall during that race, of course I feel that my training went well and I was properly hydrated and fueled during the race, and I didn't push myself too hard for the first part of that race. But one of the reasons, I think one of the main reasons why I didn't hit the wall during that race was that I actually carried into that race with quite a bit of strength relative to what I would have had I not already been doing some strength training. If you have seen my channel for a long time, we go way back, strength training was a pretty big, important part to me getting into fitness in the first place. And in fact, I found that long before I got into running. And I feel like strength training has really helped me with the endurance side of things and improving that endurance and reducing the fatigue, especially when I'm on those long runs. All right, so the second big one is increase running efficiency. Now, one of the things that I do at the beginning of every single workout that I do in the gym, which means 5 times a week now that I'm on this hybrid athlete program, is I follow a tip from Nick Bare, and I will link to his channel in the description down below. You should check him out. Really motivational. But what he does before he hits the weights, his warm-up usually involves working on his core. And the core is one of those really important things that once your core kind of starts to get a little bit fatigued when you're out there on a long run, whether it's a race or it's just a long run in your training, that's when some of those efficiencies start to fall apart. But if you've got a strong core that's able to live up to the demands that you're putting on it, you keep those efficiencies and you keep upright and you're keeping those shoulders back and you're doing all those running form things that we all try to do that kind of tends to waver a little bit later in the race. And increasing your strength in your core and your legs is really going to help out with that efficiency, especially if you're training for something longer like a half marathon, a marathon, or even an ultra. Hi folks, I hope you're liking this video so far, and if you are, give this video a thumbs up and please consider subscribing to my channel. I've got a lot of really interesting content to share with you, and it motivates me so much to see more and more people are interested in my journey. Next on our list is reduced injury risk, and there are a couple of things I want to mention here. First and foremost, it does come back to running form, and when you're later on in that training session or later on in that race, when that form starts to break down because of weaker muscle groups, you do start to see this increase in injury risk. The other side to this coin is that if you have any imbalances in your muscles, for an example, let's say you are very quad dominant in your running and you have a little bit of a weak hamstring, that can create some imbalances that might cause IT band issues, some different knee issues. Maybe you actually end up with just a pull hamstring muscle because the quads are so dominant and they're the driving force in the legs. But there are just a number of different ways that imbalances can actually cause an increased risk in your injury. So being able to work on those when you're in the gym and focus on some of those imbalances can really reduce that risk of injury in the future. And yes, that's right, the next one on our list is faster races, faster paces. Now, I talk about how important strength training is to running form and endurance so many times in this video already, but ultimately, if you work on your strength training, it doesn't have to be anything insane, and maybe I'll touch on that in just a minute, but if you work on strength training, that's going to result in better form and better endurance, which is going to translate into faster races, faster paces. Okay, and this last one is a little bit, I'm going to call this a bonus tip because ultimately this is not what this is about, but I feel a little bit better about myself. I'm more confident when I have a little bit of muscle on my frame. I feel I look better. I'm more confident. I know that's not what it's about, and ultimately that's not the most important part to this channel and what I'm trying to do here, but it helps. That's it, guys. That's the end of the video. My name is Matt, and this is What Matters to Matt, and ultimately what matters to me most is my family. I'll see you in the next one.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up.